What's up, y'all? Almost ready.
And I'm going to tune this one for you.
Oh, right. Oh, thank
No,
you.
you have a seat. I'm tuning off camera.
All right. Sounds like thunder, it looks like rain. Cold black feeling creeping up on me again. Sounds like thunder, looks like rain. Cold black feeling rubbing on me again. Can't find no comfort, boys. There's no escape. Reveals my future, phantom riding on a hellbound train. Lightning reveals my future, phantom riding on a hellbound train. She's the demon throwing down on that throttle, ramping through that white hot rain. Steaming cracks in hell. Ghouls found by the desert, screaming through the steaming cracks in hell. Now can't you hear them, boys? Where can't you hear them tolling bells? Sounds like thunder, it looks like a rain. Cold black feeling creeping up on me again. It sounds like thunder, it looks like rain. Cold black feeling rubbing on me again. Now flashing fiery torch toward the gates of hell. Hear them tolling bells, hear them tolling.
Holy mackerel.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
Dude, I feel like I just did a bump of coke. And I'm completely sober.
Totally sober right now.
Beautiful, brother. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Arthur, man. My
What
pleasure.
the hell? Oh my god. That's great. What a gorgeous little guitar.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, man.
This is a cool, and this is it's a reissue of national. It's a national reissue of the guitar they made. I think in like '38 or '39. So it's steel body, but it's yellow, painted. It's got a maple fretboard, and it's got the fun Hawaiian
Oh wow.
scene on the back.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I've had this one for about coming up on 7 years, I think.
Well, man, you make it do really cool things.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Amazing shit. So, we met a while ago. We've been in the scene forever.
Yeah.
We played on some bills together
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
So Orc has one of these voices, as I'm sure you could tell, that will just stop a room in its tracks. Got my attention years ago, and then I come to find out it's the voice comes from a mild-mannered, sweet dude. You're not a small.
true.
You're not a small dude, but but your voice sounds like it's coming from somebody 6'5", 300 pounds, man.
Yeah, man.
Amazing shit. So, how did you get started? How did you get introduced to guitar, and do you wish that you'd played drums instead? I always ask guitarists that because drums are fun, right?
Drums are awesome. I'm the worst drummer that I've ever heard.
I like shitty drummers.
Yeah. Well, hey, man.
I have like my top 10 list of shitty drummers.
I don't know. That's a. I'll do some recordings. I'll send you some stuff.
I want to hear it.
But I actually started on violin when I was 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because it was just, my parents were like, okay, you're gonna play violin, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but okay.
This was their deal. They wanted you to play violin.
Right, and
Okay.
maybe I had showed some interest or something, or I don't know,
Okay.
not to my recollection, I don't know, but started that. I think it got me out of like class a little bit.
Sure.
For like 30 minutes or an hour.
Sure.
Extra a day, so I was into that, and so I did that for 5 years. But I knew that my older cousin, plays guitar, and so he came to visit one Christmas, and they had moved from here. They had moved to Oregon, and so they came to visit, and he didn't bring a guitar with him. He was like 20 or something, and so my folks went and got him like a little cheap $15 guitar from the pawn shop, so he'd have something to play while he was in town.
Okay.
And because man, it's like
Back when you could get them for $15.
yeah. I mean, dude, like I played that guitar for years, but he left it when they went home, and so it was around the house. And so like when I was 10, I was like, man, I really want to play guitar. I'm not really into violin.
Right.
And
So this was something you chose.
yeah, and I was like, I really dug it, and so that was it, man. By the time I was about 12 or 13, I was like, yep, this is what I'm gonna do.
When did you start writing?
Man, about that time, like 12 or 13, I remember.
So you got right into writing.
Yeah, and it's sort of like this habit that I have, or it's something that I do. Like when I start something new, a new instrument or something like that, I'll like write a song. I'll try to write a song on it. Try to make sense of it somehow.
Sure.
And so like when I remember I was really like big into Metallica and Pantera.
Yeah.
And so I started writing, like one of the songs that I was trying to teach myself at that time was, I think it was Master of Puppets.
Okay.
From the album Master of Puppets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that song Survivor by the band Survivor off the album Survivor. Anyway, am I looking in the right spot here? I don't know.
Yeah, you're
okay,
good.
all right. Anyway, so I was like, but I was writing that kind of stuff, and like, but like the sort of the mellow parts, it wasn't even really the metal stuff. It was almost like the sort of semi-classical type.
Neoclassical?
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't really sophisticated enough.
Don't make me bring up Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh, Yngwie.
Neoclassical, but anyway,
like
so the
that,
melody was talking to you.
Yeah, and so that kind of stuff. I mean, and I wrote a bunch of lyrics, and I wish that I still had that stuff, because I'd really be interested to hear it. I have no idea what that was, what it sounded like or anything.
You didn't record it. You didn't do
No.
Huh.
I mean, this was 1991, 2, 3. I didn't know anything about that.
Wow. Well, that's cool. So, Yeah, some of the writers that I've spoken to, they got right into it.
Mm-hmm.
They got right into it when I remember when I started a long time ago. Some of my peers were these guitarists.
Mm-hmm.
Thought, no, I don't want to write yet. I want to get really good on this instrument
Mm-hmm.
before I write. It's kind of it's procrastination. I think you gotta get right into it. But that's cool. I like what you're saying about a new instrument.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and you're
Christening it.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
tune, yeah, man.
And it's just sort of like, maybe it's sort of my way of like trying to make sense of it a little bit.
Sure.
It's something that I'm unfamiliar with. But man, you're so right about writing. Like, writing is a separate, I feel like just almost a completely separate skill than working on chops or anything like that, you know. And it requires an equal amount of devotion, you know, and work, you know what I mean? I mean, it seems like that to me, because man, these days I find it pretty difficult to write stuff, you know, and I don't know, like when it's just like sort of this free form thing, you know, it's like when there's more of a focus, like, you know, something like this and something like this, then it becomes like, okay, I can work within this framework.
Yeah.
To
I've said
something.
it a million times. There's nothing more intimidating, scary, as well as exciting than a blank sheet of paper
Mm-hmm.
in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. You just, as a songwriter, I guess you never know. Like, is this the day that I just suck for the rest of my life? Because I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen
Like,
with you know, predecessors and so forth. But anyway, without getting too, I'm gonna get dark here in a minute. But let's hear some more stuff, man.
All right. So talking about. I gotta get up. I forgot. I need a different slide piece for this one. But I'll be right back.
Robert Marshall Sutton, what's going on? We need to get you on here, sir.
Hold on. Where did
How have y'all been? Uh-oh.
There it is.
We got someone taking...
I lost my spot. Lost my spot here. That's all right. We can share. Do you like jams, puppy?
What you got for us?
All right. So this one, speaking of
Is
writing...
that a slack key?
Yeah, this is a... Wow, it's even pretty close here. Yeah, so this is a... oh, no, it's not. So Weissenborn. So yeah, you know, slack key stuff. And so I was really, and still am, into like steel guitar. You know,
No shit.
pedal steel, non-pedal steel.
My favorite stringed instrument is a pedal steel guitar.
Dude, it's unbelievable. So I was really working there for a little while to try to get comfortable on a pedal steel.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't really. It was too complicated because I got this. I bought this one, and it was a 12-string, so it mimicked having a double neck pedal steel where you'd have two 10-string necks.
Right.
So you've got, you know, it's basically like those two 10-string necks combined. All this stuff. It's really complicated. It's too much, and of course I didn't know what the strings did without the pedals and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm gonna like switch to no pedals first and see what that does, and at the same time, I got this guy, which I tuned to, like right now it's in an open D, and even that tuning, which I'm familiar with, when you play it just flat, I mean, when you change it from like this to this, just flat, it becomes
It's a different
beast.
Yeah, altogether.
So, speaking of writing to kind of figure out what the heck's going on, this was I think this may have been the first song I wrote. With this guitar, and it's one called Cannonballs. It's a little instrumental.
Cool. That is gorgeous, man.
Thank you, man.
Have you recorded this one?
Yeah, that one's it's the last track on my most recent album. The album's called Love and a Hurricane, and that tune was called Cannonball.
Oh wow, I was looking for stuff like, so this is not on Spotify.
Man, it might be, or it might not be.
No, because the last thing is from 2011.
Really on
it
Spotify?
Was on Spotify.
Yeah, dude.
I kind of represent that demographic. I've gone out of my way to get rid of CDs and stuff, and
Sure.
I move around a little bit too much to be a vinyl guy.
Yeah.
So Spotify's just kind of become my thing. I don't know if that's takes away from any street cred that I may or may not have, but that's just how I do it, and I know that some other people do as well.
Yeah. It seems like a great platform, you know, like, because it's like, as you say, man. It's
yeah,
like
I mean, without
mobile
getting
as you
into,
are.
I mean, I think people are being, the compensation for the artist was always the issue.
Yeah.
And kind of the real downside or the sketchy part of it, but I think that's improving, and for me, I'm just such a pragmatist to be able to have all, you know, my entire music collection in my back pocket. It serves me well.
Absolutely.
I've talked about it on previous episodes of this, how I understand that vinyl sounds better in separation and so forth, and I forgot what the deal was that Neil Young was promoting. It was a new platform, the Pogs, some shit, I don't know. Pongo, I think it was called, but it's this triangular, it looks like a Godiva chocolate thing, or like something, but it's supposed to, you're supposed to hear things how it was really recorded. But I think back to the times when everyone just had a transistor radio and rock and roll still got its point across.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, don't get too hung up on that stuff. Like, I'm all about, I will listen to audiophiles all day long to listen to them go on about music, and, you know, this is stuff that I guess we encounter when we're in the studio mixing and things like that. But honestly, what are we talking about here? These are tunes and melodies and notes that we want to get across.
Yeah.
So I don't get too hung up on it. But nevertheless, I did include a link to the Mighty Orcs website at the bottom of this video. What's new? What's next?
Well, so next month. Here's something. Shameless plug for a gig tomorrow. I'm playing with John Egan and Nick Diaz. We're doing a song swap at Mucky Duck.
Mucky Duck, I saw that. Yes.
And so that's Tuesday, January 8th, if you're in the neighborhood, or if you're not in the neighborhood.
At one of the, in my opinion, the best listening room in Houston.
Absolutely.
If not the only one. I think there aren't many, but
yeah.
Wonderful place to check out a gig. And I know John Egan. You will not be disappointed. I don't know Nick Diaz.
Nick, man, great guy. You know, he's he has a band called Buenos Diaz, and he's originally from here, but he's based in Austin. He's sort of lived all over the country for the last 18 years or so. But great dude, great songwriter, great guitar player.
Yeah, it's in the same vein as you and John.
Yeah, he's a little wilder.
Okay.
Like he's this really great guitar player, like electric guitar player. How does he characterize? What's the line? It's like alligator, swamp, rock and roll. It's really cool. And it's really interesting. Like he's one of these guys.
Got my attention with swamp, because I love swamp pop, the whole Freddie Fender thing and all that. I love that shit.
There's elements of that, and like I love his music. He's such an interesting songwriter and guitar player. He's uniquely himself, like and that to me is one of the most fun things and most admirable things about
not giving
an
a
artist.
shit.
It's like, man, he's just him. He's doing
not
his
being
thing.
Self-conscious.
Yeah, he's just doing it, and it's wonderful, so.
That's cool. Check that out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go to that.
Yeah, come on.
That sounds badass. You somewhat answered my last question. This is me trying to pay it forward, but who today, as far as guitar goes, who do you think deserves more attention? Obviously, the famous dudes are already famous. They're already making money. But if you could, is there anyone in the past few years that has kind of struck you and say, wow?
I'm trying to think,
This
man.
person should be better known.
Well, man. You know, I mean, as far as like guitar goes, you know, specifically, or kind of any
Something that,
yeah.
you know, anything that floats your boat, man,
Yeah.
that you think, oh shit, this is,
Man, you know, that's a great question. I sadly don't get out much.
that's my thought. Well, the question is me passing the buck.
So,
that's-
you know, I mean, Nick, like, I love Nick, man, and he's a dear friend.
I'm gonna check him out just based
Yeah.
on your description of him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that. Again, that's the problem. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
And so this is a selfish question, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm obviously really look up to you, and so anyone that's floating your boat,
Yeah. I mean, there's.
I want to know. But I'm gonna check this guy out, Nick Diaz.
I don't know, man. You know. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll talk about it on the next episode when we have you
Perfect.
back at some point in the future.
That's perfect.
Well, leave us with another tune, man.
All right.
What you got?
All right. How about, let's see. I'm debating whether to do this one, whether to do the title track off the most recent album called Love and a Hurricane, or to do this other one called Cigarettes in Heaven. It's something in something.
Okay.
Hurricane, Cigarettes in Heaven. I don't know which one to do. I'll do Cigarettes in Heaven. Do you mind if could I use that guy?
Should be tuned up.
Awesome. That would be a pleasant change.
Honored that you're playing this sax.
All right. Let's see. So this one I wrote for a dear friend, passed away unexpectedly. He's a great dude, and he would have hated this song and would have told me to play more slide. So, in your face, Mark. I love you, man. Oh, he was a heavy smoker, gun enthusiast, and neither of which killed him. So, anyway, this one's called Cigarettes in Heaven. Do you think that they've got cigarettes in heaven? Any paradise worth a damn would let you bring your AK-47. You say paybacks are hell. Oh well. Now you're gone and it's a shame, and there's no one here to blame. Hey baby, I didn't get to saying goodbye, and it's crazy how you were gone so fast. But maybe death is an answer, not an end. So I'll see you round the bend. Now I'm thinking back to times when we first met, and how you saved my life after the Johnny Winter set. You said, you know you're not good to drive, and we need you here in life. Hey baby, I didn't get to say goodbye, and it's crazy how you were gone so fast. But maybe death is an answer, see you round the bend. I see you round my friend. I see you round, oh my friend. I see you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Cool,
thank you.
man. That was almost like a little Blood, Sweat, and Tears meets Burt Bacharach, Jimmy Webb meets the
Dude.
Mighty Orc. Let's hear it for him. Hey, man, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate
brother.
it. Been a fan for a long time. By all means, if you don't know this man's catalog, go to his website, which is down below in the video. Thank you so much.